What's going on, Patreon family? We're back with the next installment of Love Yourself. This is Tear or a Tear, actually pretty funny. This is one of my favorite comments that I got in response to something I said at the end of the video for the last album we did. Anyways, guys, I'm going to keep this intro really short just for the sake of editing purposes, because I am combining all of these for the YouTube edit. But I do want to say shout out to all of you again, all the comments, all the enthusiasm, all of the information for me. Without all of it, I wouldn't be. A couple things: checking out C, which we're going to check out right before we dive into Tear, because you guys seem to have a lot of combined enthusiasm for that particular song, so I would never ever ignore that many people telling me to check that out. I want to give a huge shout out to Caitlin Marie, the homie who is been doing BTS reactions far before me, and I actually got to check out her reactions to B and Map of the Soul since I finally got to listen to the albums myself, obviously, and she's just so wonderful at how she responds to all the music. So if you haven't seen her videos, you probably all have, but for the small percentage of you that haven't, go check hers out, because she's, like I said, wonderful. All right, everybody, let's jump into this album song. Oh, we're doing C first, so let's. Man, that's a strong that's not even a start. That's, I don't know, this is like a bonus track. Yeah, you guys, honestly, I don't know why this wasn't on the regular like streamable version, because this fits perfectly. It's not like totally in line, it's not so specifically grasping at like the romantic aspect or the idea of being in love, because they didn't specifically reference that. They seem to be more touching on their come up in the industry and everything they had to go through. But you can easily, unfortunately, but easily relate that to romantic endeavor, what you go through and the hardships of a relationship. So, and that probably honestly was what they did as well with that song. All right, let's start the actual Love Yourself, Tear, as I've been told it's both. This first track here is Intro Singularity. It looks like it's gonna be all V, so yes please. I'm so here for that. Kind of a sensual sound. Trying to ignore this unfamiliarity. Under my throat. I want to know what this sound is. Man, so that's how profound the sound is, that he had to drown it. He had to literally throw himself into a lake and drown it. It's having a profound impact on him. He can hardly deal with it. And I'm like on it. I've literally moved up a couple centimeters here because I'm on the edge of my seat. Like I want to know where this is gonna go and build to. I don't think we have a chorus, which is okay. Or is this it? Because he tried to drown himself in it. Oh, that was deep low note there. Oh. It's so beautiful envisioning this. He's at the lake covering his own reflection in his mouth. The feelings are inevitable. The feelings are inevitable. Try and suppress them, you're trying to hide them. It's inevitable. Oh, but don't be over. He could have kept on. This is 3 minutes and 16 seconds. He could have done this for 10 minutes with no chorus, just lyrics. That was a poem. And he could have just sang more and more and more and told me more of the story about these feelings, this pain. Ultimately is what it is. The feelings are pain. They're the same thing. Unfortunately, feelings can be so many different things, right? And it's something BTS is so incredibly advanced that is elaborating on those feelings, whether it's vulnerability or joy, happiness, brotherhood, or pain and heartbreak. And V singing about feeling so much pain, it's unstoppable. It keeps him up at night. He can't even sleep. So much pain that he drowns himself. And he tries to drown the pain. He tries to drown that pain under the water, but it doesn't go anywhere. It might temporarily freeze under there, but he goes back and he can still see it in the lake. He's staring at it and he's trying to cover the mouth of the reflection in the water, but spring's gonna come and melt that water, and then that pain's gonna come right back out. That's how we start this album off. Gosh, I see how this kind of links to the outro on Her, because that really lends itself to loads of vulnerability to that song, and kind of giving yourself up, and like that mask and the putting on a mask for someone, and this leads more into the specific pain that you feel when it comes to like really giving yourself to someone, and like the potential repercussions of that. This is really dark and deep way to start this album off. I am feeling this in a very painful way, and I'm talking a lot because I'm almost not ready to keep going because I know that I'm about to get like fucked up by this album. Our track is Fake Love, and we've got all the boys back for this one. Oh, immediately it sounds like a movie soundtrack. Was this song in a movie? Because it feels like I know we just started, guys. It sounds like it's made for like a movie or like a TV score at some point when the intense stuff is kind of happening in the climax of the episode or film. Oh, it just gave me that vibe right away. This is gonna be too dark. He tried that with the lake. Again, these floral references, and I love how the albums connect here. Already, I grew a flower that can't be bloomed in a dream. They can't come true. I grew the flower in the dream, and the flower can't be bloomed. Literally, like I grew the flower, literally can't be bloomed. It's a fucking, like I'm driving myself crazy. Conversation. You know why I love that right there? Because that is such a trap delivery, except they're talking about stuff. And when you listen to a lot of the trap music nowadays, and not even just like the last 5 years, you get a lot of that same cadence, but people aren't talking about anything. Literally they're not talking about anything. And this is that same trap cadence, but they're talking about so much, and it makes it so much more enjoyable. Because I like the cadence, right? Like I like to bop to it, but when I get that cadence and it's not really about anything, it's kind of like, oh, all right, but this is like so layered.
내가 누구였는지도 잘 모르게 됐어 거울에다 뒤걸려봐 너는 대체 누구래 위에서라면 난 슬퍼도 기쁜 척할 수가 있었어 널 위해서라면 난 아파도 강한 척할 수가 있었어
All this pretending.
사랑이 사랑만을 더 완벽하게 내보다 이점들은 다 숨겨지게 이루어지지 않는 꿈속에서
That line is so profound. I love the almost love you so bad. It's almost a cry at the end of like the emotional delivery on that. It's almost a cry at the end of the word there, and I love how they do that from Jungkook, and now V's kind of doing it as well. Fake love, that goes so. Fake love. Fake love, fake love. I love that hook. How can oh fuck, I cannot get emotional this early into the album. That's not good. How can a song that goes this hard be this fucking sad? Even the I'm so sorry, like that hits so hard itself, because there's actually like it's tongue-in-cheek, there's a sarcasm to it, but there's also a genuine part of it, like I'm sorry that we both had to be hurt so bad and do all this faking and like hiding and suppressing and put these masks on, because ultimately this is what it was. And that's just like, I had so much hopes for this. I had these dreams of this flower that will bloom, but it just was never gonna happen. And that is how can I love this song so much and it be so sad? And they end the song with my favorite line. That's one of my favorite lines that I've ever heard from them, and I've heard a lot of great lines from them guys, and that already is one of my favorite lines I've ever heard from them. I gotta remember. I'm Xing out of these things because I gotta remember to go in and heart the song, because it's unacceptable for this song to not immediately be playlisted, and I guess like me just hurt myself by re-listening to it because it's just pain. Like it's so good. Is that my favorite BTS song? Fake Love. All right, let's keep going somehow. All right, this is The Truth Untold. It's featuring Steve Aoki. You can't follow Fake Love with a line like that. I hung myself in this sandcastle. What? It's gonna be 7 more tracks like this, guys, because oh, you know what's so... I'm trying to have a good day today, guys. It's beautiful outside, and I think I see a lot of the times with these albums, you know, someone like me especially who takes things deeply, I tend to do certain artists, certain albums, depending on the mood I'm in. because I know if I listen to a certain artist, I'm gonna be sort of screwed emotionally for a while, the rest of my day probably at the very least. And I don't know why I'm gonna feel this one for the rest of the day and probably more than that. I hung myself in the sandcastle. It's not even just it's like it's attempted suicide, but it never happens because it's a sandcastle, right? If you hang yourself in a sandcastle, the castle's gonna break immediately, and you just keep falling into that sand. There's no structure there. It's impossible. Therefore, you're attempting a suicide that is never successful. So you are constantly living with these emotions, this pain, this anguish inside of yourself, and you can't get rid of it. No matter how many times you try and end yourself. But I still want you. First of all, the vocals from everyone, I love Jin, but especially Jungkook here. That me, I'm not even gonna. I can't do anything right now. Fake Love is literally my favorite BTS song that I had ever heard up until this song just came on, because this already passed it. Not even like barely a minute in, and this is so just we're back to that mask. Again, we're back to that, but they have to because there's so much. This is a straight up mental health song, talking about what you deal with as a person and how you have to mask that to give, because you feel like you have to mask that to give this person the best part of you, like the best part of you. Don't want them to deal with that part of you, so you mask yourself because you still want them, right? And he says it right here, but I still want you. So I have to like put a mask on and cover up those feelings and those things that I go through, because that's just too much to burden you with. I don't know how Steve Aoki plays into this because he's more. This doesn't sound like his sound. I forgot about him already because this is just so beautiful. I mean, tragically beautiful.
외로움의 정원에 빈 너를 닮은 꽃 주고 싶었지. 바보 같은 가면을 벗고서 But I know 영원히 그럴 수는 없는 걸 숨어야만 하는 걸 난 두려운 걸 초라해 I'm so afraid 결국엔 너도 날 또 떠나버릴까 또 가면을 쓰고 널 만나러 가 할 수 있는 건 저만의 이 세상에 예쁜 너를 닮은 꽃을 피운다 네가 아는 나로 숨쉬는 건
Me that you know what?
But I still want you.
I bloom a pretty flower and breathe as the me that you know. I bloom a flower that is my version of you. So I'm blooming a flower, and in my head it's you, and I can only show my true self to this flower. I get to breathe as myself. Because when I'm actually in front of you, it's too much for me to handle. I'm so run down that I can. It's.
I still want you. 어쩌면 그때 용기만 이만큼만 용기 내서 너의 앞에 섰더라면 지금 모든 건 달라졌을까 난 울고 있어 사라진 무너진 홀로 남겨진 이 모래성에서 부서진 가면을 바라보면서 And I still want you
what I can't believe that this is so. I mean, I can believe it because I've heard a lot of them at this point. You know, we're 3 albums in technically, and they never cheat me on lyricism and meaning. So I should know by now. But the fact that it's hitting so deep and hard, 3 tracks in, is a lot to process. There's like no break. You don't get a chance to breathe, and take a second to not just be mutilated with these lyrics. This hurts so far, and I mean, you guys weren't lying. Let's keep it going. I mean, there's so much more I could touch on in that song. It's, you know, I don't say this just to say this, guys. This is probably actually my favorite BTS song, The Truth Untold. There's just too much in that lyricism there, and I'm starting to understand the love yourself concept more and more, especially after hearing these songs on this album, especially, and how important it is to love yourself, because the theme so far is we just aren't loving ourselves. They aren't, at all. I mean, at all. And God, should they? Because they're just such precious boys. All right, this is 1 3 4 3 4 0. No idea what that means. Let's go. Vocal. Jungkook is so. This is an entire scheme on the galaxy and the stars and just every, you know, I'm not huge into like astrology, but this is like a separate concept though, like just an entire scheme on the galaxy essentially, and how that ties in with love. What does that moon have that I don't? Us is just the plural of you. Wow, because you is singular, it's one person, and you, us is plural, it's 2, or in this case it's two of us. That's clever. That is really clever. Okay, RM. Because the sun is a star. There is a lot of layers in this song, and they all revolve around having a basic knowledge at the very least of the planet system, and it's so clever how they did these comparisons between a person and the sun and a person and planets, the moon. I like how that was filtered back and then it started to slowly open up more and more. That 248 below has got to be Is that the temperature on the moon? I don't know. Obviously, they did their research and know what they're talking about. Um, Explain to me, please, Army, the ideology behind what they're getting at here. I understand the overall premise, but I love how they're being so specific with these numbers, especially, and obviously the song is. Is that how many miles away? Is 134340 the amount of miles away something that they're referring to overall? Like a certain. I mean, the sun itself. This song is fucking my mind up. Man, there's so much more about this song that I need to dive in. Obviously, planets revolve around the sun. I just don't know which particular planet they're referring to themselves as. There was a Pluto reference in there, and darkness. I don't know if Pluto is the darkest planet. That I'm not sure about. The only thing I do know for sure is that planets revolve around the sun, and I assume that whatever planet they're... Oh, Pluto is in parentheses. Okay, and Pluto is, if I'm not mistaken, the furthest planet from the sun, right? So is that the amount of miles that Pluto is from the sun? I didn't even see that in parentheses, guys. Okay, I think because on the the official track name doesn't have Pluto in parentheses, if I'm not mistaken. Still, please give me all the information you guys have on the song, even though I have a feeling that's what we're getting at here. That's so clever. Okay, all right. Oh, my mind. Okay, let's keep going. Quick shout out to our sponsor. Now, something I've learned over the years is having a great desk is so important. I've been through a few wobbly ones. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you've seen my desk wobbling like a mess. A few underwhelming ones throughout the years. I'm so happy that I've discovered FlexiSpot desks, so much so that I've partnered with them. Holiday season means discount season. They have so many desks to choose from and so many sales going on. The desk I have here is the FlexiSpot EB8B Bamboo Top Height Adjustable Standing Desk. My particular model comes with a USB-C and 2 USB ports, as well as a desk drawer. So many different desks. Like I said, so many discounts. Go check it out, guys. Use the discount code in the video description for an additional discount. Plus, a handful of lucky customers will get the special Christmas gift package. Look how pretty this stuff is. All right, this next track is called Paradise. I'm such a simp for Jungkook. Guys, oh man.
남한테 섞어 위대해져야 한다 배워 너의 dream 사실은 짐 미래만 이 꿈이라면 내가 어젯밤쯤 돼서 꾼 건 뭐 꿈의 이름이 달라도 괜찮아 다음 달에 노트북 사는 거 아니면 그냥 먹고 자는 거 아무것도 안 하는데 돈이 많은 거 꿈이 뭐고 작은 거라고 그냥 아무나 되라고 We deserve a life 뭐가 크건 작건 그냥 너는 너잖아
I love that transition from the rap to the singing and the kind of the pre-chorus right here. This feels like kind of a song about finding your purpose, you know, about not just like running around aimlessly and how that can be exhausting. Like you're in order to find your paradise, even though there's sort of there's like a death sort of overarching theme to this. I feel like in this song here, not just this song, a couple of times in this album so far, but just about sort of realizing your own dream, like stopping and taking the time to figure that out, and not just like running nonstop because life can pass you by in that regard.
아무 이유도 모르는 채 달릴 필요 없어 꿈이 없어도 괜찮아 잠시 행복을 느끼
That's it right there. You have moments of happiness for a while.
이제 목적도 모르는 채 달리지 않아 꿈이 없어도 괜찮아
I can see the more and more I hear Jungkook's delivery on certain things, I can hear the rapper that's in him, the JK, the rapper that we're gonna find out. According to you guys, as I go into like the earlier albums, like you can sort of hear it in his cadence and delivery. Right there.
꿈꾸는 게 때론 무섭네 그냥 이렇게 살아가는 게 살아남는 게 이게 나에겐 작은 꿈인데 꿈을 꾸는 게 꿈을 주는 게 숨을 쉬는 게 때론 버겁네 누군 이렇게 누군 저렇게 산다면서 세상은 내게 욕을 퍼붓네 세상은 욕할 자격이 없네 꿈을 꾸는 법이 무엇인지 가르쳐준 적도 없기에 꿈은 내 꿈이기에 눈물에 잠꼬대 악몽에 스케보내 널 위해 이제 묘서 보자고 전하곤 했어 멈췄어도 괜찮아
every Sugar verse is like a treat. Paradise. All your breathing is already in paradise because this moment is paradise. Okay, I'm loving a bit of a bright moment and a really dark album. Realizing that this moment is paradise. Again, just nice to give a bright moment in the middle of the album, pretty much here. An album that has been so dark. All right, let's keep going, guys. Track 6, Love Maze. This whole album is super R&B, by the way, which you guys Oh my God, Jungkook.
I wanna use my head, I wanna calculate. Love in the fitness, feeling like a fitness. 머리 쓰면 사랑한 적 없기에 좋을 걸 알아. 겨울처럼 말이야. 그래도 난 부딪히고 싶어. 네가 밀면 넘어질게 날 일으켜줘.
I love when RM goes from the fast rapping to the slow rapping all within the same verse. He's so good at slowing it down and maintaining a cadence. Again, I've said this multiple times, but I haven't said it in this video, so I'm going to say it now. They're all so distinct. They're also J-Hope, RM Sugar, they're also distinct in their styles and techniques and how they use it. Both off Road Inside and Maze, shut off. Oh, that thin light. That thin light, because when you look at if you see, first of all, I hope we're wandering towards paradise, which is perfect, following the song Paradise, which talks about living in the now and how that is paradise. So assuming we were referencing like, hey, like we're wandering towards paradise, which again is the now and is just existing now but with each other. But saying that thin light, when you're in a maze and you see the exit to the maze, if it's far from you, because of sort of like the distance of it and what it looks like from just how physics works essentially and how eyesight works, it just looks thinner from a distance, and that's why it's like that thin light until you get closer and closer to it and the light really starts to expand. So clever in reference to a maze and how like Sugar played off of that. Bring that back. Up inside the empty lies. Even this endless. If anyone's seen Harry Potter, this makes me think so much of the maze in Goblet of Fire and how that maze in itself, there's lies inside that maze and the darkness, and that maze was literally enchanted to make, the wizards that were in that maze, feel dark thoughts and things that aren't real, and how they had to like find the light, the end of that maze. I don't want to spoil that movie because this is a very specific thing that happens in the maze, but anyone that's seen that, like, it makes me think of that, and hopefully you get it. Again, 5 to 10 become this is our map right here. Again, map of the soul. That little run. You guys, Jungkook does these very subtle runs. I think that was him because that was his part, and it was a little run there at the end of that verse there. I'm assuming it's him. I'm sorry if it was not him, but it's often him that does these very light sort of runs and riffs that are outside of the structured verse, just sort of like background, and it always is so nice. I love this man. Right here. Love me. Go ahead, B. I don't. This could be anybody back here now. They can all do that note right there. All right. That's what. Okay. All right. I like this song a lot. Let's go. I like this song a lot. Let's go to the next one. All right. This next track is Magic Shop. That's just a fact. Wait. I like that it's V that's giving us this opening verse here, these opening lines, considering it was him that gave us the intro and Singularity, and how you can link these lines with that whole song. I like this because we're opening, as the album goes on, we're opening up more and more, and these are things we were refusing to do earlier on, and as we get deeper and more involved, we start to open up and realize how important that is with the partner. This Mirage, isn't a Mirage again? Back up, we're direct play on that was it C, right? Or was it C? The song talking about the sea and the desert and the mirage, and my mind is just so hurt today that there's so much going on in there, and I think it's C, but again, we're directly referencing a song from earlier. Not a mirage because we made it, we got there. Another reference with the galaxy. I love all the references this song has to this whole project. Bloom like a rose. And that was the flower they were trying to bloom that wouldn't bloom because it was in a dream and impossible. I love this song is referencing so much of the project. Give it to myself. Man, those are beautiful lyrics. I opened one door at the end of this cliff, and there I was in your heart. If you are on the other side of that door and open it, I'll be right there waiting. Yeah, would you believe me if I say even I was afraid of everything? Would you believe me if I say even I was afraid of everything? Even I was afraid of everything. Yeah, I would believe you because of all that stuff you were talking about earlier on in the album. Yeah, I would believe you. It's just another profound moment on the album, and talking about like showing each other these vulnerable sides of you and being there. Like, I'll be at the end of that sort of cliff in front of that door. I'm really hoping you'll be on the other side. If you are and you open that door, like, I will be there for you. And the only question I have about this fucking wonderful song, guys, and excuse my language, I throw a few F-bombs and I get really excited about things. What is Magic Shop? What is that referring to? I know you guys have broken down a lot of things for me. The cat reference, the Pied Piper. You get so much at this point, right? Help me out with this Magic Shop thing, because I'm not that I don't understand how that's tying in, and I know it means something. I know it does, because it always does with them. So please let me know, Army. Next track is Airplane Part 2. It's a different sound to open this up. There's an intentional break in the piano. This is such a different sound. I never heard them really do this kind of sound before. Come on, Jean-Claude with those vocals. I like the play on airplane. We're in the airplane, obviously we're flying, we're going from place to place, but then also like turned on airplane mode and how important that is to keep that part of you sort of like kind of protecting yourself in that regard. But I love this whole play on just how much they enjoy what they do. And they go to all these places, right? Because they're performing in all these places, or they're doing whatever they're doing in all these places that are related to what they do as musicians. This is this is another really cool moment on the album. Because this is what I do. I don't know how to stop, right? I don't know how to even stop and like. This is how to fail. This is what I do. This is what I do. I go from here to here to here to here. Mariachi, like that's the dance. This is the dance mariachi. This is the This is my life. This is my life. I love that vocal. I love that vocal. Oh no! I just want to. There's something about this song that's just kind of like endlessly enjoyable. You know, like especially that sort of we're going to Tokyo to like all the places they were going in Paris and then they would do the mariachi, and I wanted to get that party like one more time at least. It's just kind of knocked. But yeah, I felt like a song about just like their lives and how much like this isn't just like a job. This is life for them. They live this, and it's a party everywhere we go to. Like it's we make the most of this because we love what we do. All right, let's keep going, guys. All right, this next song is called Anpan Man. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but it's translated to Bean Bun Man. I couldn't not look up what that meant. I can't just listen to this song that's got a title that I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. So I had to look it up. Basically says, Anpan Man means Bean Bun Man. He doesn't need to eat or drink to sustain himself and has never been seen eating, as it is believed the bean jam in his head allows him to sustain himself in this manner. The bean jam in his head is made of bean jam? First of all, what is bean jam? Is that just like mushed beans? So his head is like made of beans? Bean bun. I guess that makes sense. I'm just looking at this, like this picture is so just funny. I love the face already. I don't know if I assume this isn't going to be a serious song though. We might just have some fun if this is the photo of Bean Bun Man. Yeah, let's see, guys. I'm excited for this already just based on this. I've never heard of this character, so let's do it. This superhero, I guess. He's got a cape on. A little reggae vibe. Am I getting a Suga and J-Hope kind of back and forth rap harmony here? Are you kidding? Legendary moment is this? Okay, this is a bop. I love V on this effect here. Maze. There's another maze callback. I'm a hero, but I'm still in this maze. So if I were like if I was like a hero that like I don't have it's not like this Anpan Man doesn't have like real powers, right? Because I'm covered in bruises still. I'm still stuck in the maze. If I was like Superman or whatever, I'd be able to just fly out the maze, right? But I'm Anpan Man. I live off of like the beans in my head, like the bean jam. So even though I'm this Anpan Man hero, I'm comparing myself to, I'm still in this maze of lies and I like trying to fit, just get through this, which they talked about in the Maze song. I love the callbacks and I love this Anpan Man character and the comparison to yourself and how you wanted to be Superman, but like this is kind of what you ended up on, and you fully accept that, which is again really relevant because this album is really like about loving yourself, I feel like, and they touched on that more as we got to the midpoint of the album, because earlier on it was so dark, guys. It was so dark, and as the album progresses, it's more of like, okay, the only way to get out of this darkness is to love yourself. That's the only way. You need to tear yourself apart, literally tear yourself apart, fight through all the tears in order to love yourself. You have to. Okay, Jungkook. Okay, I'm gonna say something. First of all, I love this song. This is such a clever, cool a comparison to like being this hero that can't like really just relies on, I guess, themselves. Like they don't have any real powers. They're just someone that by being such a good person, you push out all the bad people, which pretty much is what they said in different words. And one of the lines, you just like call on the Pen Man and like all the bad people, like push them out, like they're gone. Which really emphasizes how important it is to them to be good people, I feel like. I also love this song. Really represents a lot of this album to me because we're at the climax of loving ourselves, and at the message in this song, this is super upbeat, this is super fun, but also I love how often they refer to this mask, right? Taking that mask off, and how important it is to take that mask off, guys, and love yourself. Don't let this mask cover your true self. Love yourself. And what are superheroes sort of, not all of them, I guess, but like a lot of them are kind of famous for wearing a mask, right? And there's like I think they didn't really say it specifically, but I feel like there's a very direct correlation between this superhero and Pan Man. The picture I saw, I don't think he was wearing a mask. I don't remember. But either way, superheroes wear masks, and all they do is talk about taking the mask off. And I feel like there is a correlation there. Oh man, there's a lot to think about with this song. If there's more that I'm missing, please let me know. But this was really one of the more clever moments on the whole album, which is saying a lot because there's been a lot. I love how it was so upbeat and maintained that level of cleverness, and just felt really good, especially seeing like that picture of Ant-Man Man and kind of how simple he looks when they already had the dreams of being Superman, and kind of how much of a downgrade Ant-Man Man is, like in the power regard, but at the same time you rely that much more on being a really good person to drive away evil. I love that. All right, let's keep going. All right, this is track 10. This is So What.
Somebody call me right. Somebody call me right. 날 신경 쓰지 않을래. 나도 그런 어때. So what?
First of all, I love how this has progressively gotten more and more upbeat. Swamps you imagine. Not every 10 worries are swamps you imagined. First of all, now swamps, deserts, seas, galaxies, dreams, sandcastles, swamps, so many visual references. One of the most impactful ways to write a song is to give the listener a direct visual to envision like a specific setting visual, so that while you're listening to the song, you now have a visual setting in your head, and then you build on that. Once you set the visual up, you start adding more lyrics that tell a story within that visual. The BTS does that so well. BTS, Taylor Swift, are a couple of artists specifically that do that so well. And I love, like, swamps, like literally you picture a swamp. How many artists use the term swamp in a song, first of all? But you literally envision them in a swamp and how that's, let's get the actual line. The swamp is that worry, right? And 9 out of 10 times you're in this, your worry is the swamp that you're in, and you're like, swamps of alligators, and they're like, you kind of can slowly drown in them, fall into them, and they're a bad place to be. And 9 out of 10 times they represent that worry that's just not real. It's not real. Like, you imagine the whole thing. Get yourself out of that. Love yourself. this group loves. I get the whole army thing the more and more I listen, because this group loves their fans. They love their fans because this is the message they're telling everyone. Oh, it feels so good. Again, I love the tie-in of Tear and Answer and the sort of trilogy of these albums and the name of it. I love how they tie it all in. This is another one of my favorites. I want to dance so bad. Hey. I want to get how they did. That's a play. That is a direct. Fucking love that they just did that.
I wanna rock right now. I'm Rob Bass and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone.
Because that is a fucking sample and play off of a classic hip hop song. And I've said so many times that these guys are real rappers and you can tell they're real fans of hip hop because of the cadence and the real rapping ability and the lyrics, and the fact that he just did that just confirms so much for me. I wanna die right now. I wanna fight right now. 걱정이 싫어. 인생은 길어. I wanna live right now. 랩으로 쳤으니 밟아 excel. When we start going into live performances, once we get through these albums, this is going to be one of the first songs I jump to see a live performance of. I can feel the energy just listening to the recorded version. Ooh, the harmonies. Ooh, the You know, I hope that you guys listening. Oh, it's not over. I'm already out of energy, out of breath. I don't want to care, so how about how do you not just go crazy listening to this song? What a high point in this album that has so many high points already. And what a build. Like, I love how the album is building and building and building in energy and message and really getting across the impact of the message with the way it builds in that energy and in that message and the way it truly tells that story of what they want their fans to really take away from this, which is, hey, love yourself. All right, let's go to the last track, guys. Unfortunately, but it's okay because we still have the third part of the whole trilogy of this and so much more after that. I was so happy. All right, guys, this is the last track. This is outro, Tear, or Tear, as I've been learning as we keep going, and they're both extremely relevant. Let's finish it off with the rappers. I know I'm about to get barred away, so this might be a long one. Let's do it, guys. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. It's building nicely. 나도 모르게 내 눈가 위에 펴 내뱉지 못한 얘기들이 흐르고 미련이 날 얼굴 위를 기어 내게 모르게 RM did not come to play on this album. Did he just come in hard? 이별은 내게 튀어 나도 모르게 내 눈가 위에 펴 내뱉지 못한 the parting. The tear blooms unknowingly. You don't even. It's so sad. You don't even realize because it's slowly developing.
이별은 내게 태워 나도 모르게 내 눈꺼
Started.
위에 펴 세뇌배치 못한 얘기들이 흐르고 미련이 날 얼굴 위를 길 내게 넌 한때는 아이디어 하지만 이제 쓰기만 한 빌 때늦은 자기 혐오로 얼룩 심장을 스치는 저 바람에도 빌 쓰기만 한 빌
My heart stained with belated self-loathing, empty of the wind that passes by. What kind of poetry is this, RM?
자기 혐오로 얼룩 심장을 스치는 저 바람에도 빌 이별은 거짓뿐이던 나 연극 끝에 오해야 많았던 나의 때가 누군가 시간을 되돌려준다면 어쩜 내가 좀 더 솔직할 수 있었을까 나만 아는 나의 금은 얼굴도 추억 초라한 내 안에 오랜 버튼도 나를 보던 그 미소로 여전히 넌 나를 그렇게 또 사랑해줄 수 있었을까 영원 같은 소리 좀 그만해 어차피 원래 끝은 있는 거잖아 시작이 있다면 I don't wanna listen to it 너무 많은 소리 혹은 너무 많은 위로 I don't wanna listen to it 그냥 너무 무서웠어 좀 내가 너를 사랑했던 적이 아예 없는 것 같아서 늦었지만 넌 치질했다고 너만 나를 사랑했다고
He literally can't even like believe any of these words that he's being told.
You're my tear, 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 you're my tear. What more can I say? You're my tear.
This album was getting like upbeat and fun and happy after it. First of all, it broke me. This album broke me in the beginning, and it started to get more upbeat and fun. But now we're closing out and we're going back to like breaking me back down. Oh.
같은 곳을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막인데요
Becomes our last.
영원을 말하던 우리였는데요 가차없이 서로를 부시네요 같이 꿈을 꿨다 생각했는데
That we destroy each other mercilessly is the other side of tear. Where RM was talking about "You're my tear," which he talked about develops without even realizing. And here J-Hope's referencing tear. We destroy each other mercilessly. We tear each other apart mercilessly.
서로를 부시네요 같이 꿈을 꿨다 생각했는데 그 꿈은 비로소 꿈이 되어 내 심장이
The first time it was a dream. I thought we dreamed the same dream, but that dream became for the first time a dream. We had the same dreams, and when you have a dream, you don't hope that dream stays a dream, which is not real. You hope it, like, it's funny because we say we have dreams, and the ironic part of that is dreams aren't real, right? But we hope those dreams become real one day, and that goes without saying when we say we have dreams. Yep. Suga's saying here that, like, he's doing the unspoken part of dream where you hope the dreams become real, even though you just say they're dreams that we have together. But saying that dream became what it actually is, right? You don't even have to say anything else. It became a dream, which in factuality, by definition, isn't real. There is so much to that. All three of them have already blown me away with lyrics, and the song's not even halfway over. TAR.
아름다운 이별 따윈 없을 테니 이제 시작해줘 Take it easy 천천히 심장을 돌려줘 그래 조각이 나버린 파편 밀어치러 밟아줘 매일은 그딴 게 더는 남지 않게 갈기 찢어 밝혀버린 내 심장을 싹 불태워줘 에이 옳지 그래 거기야 뭘 망설이니 네가 원하는 건 말이니 망설임 없이 여서 죽여 Yeah, put it. Yeah, put it. Yeah, put it. 타버린 채마저 남지 않게. 이게 진짜 너고, 이게 진짜 나야. 이젠 끝을 봤고, 원망도 안 남아. 달던 꿈은 깼고, 나는 눈을 감아. 이게 진짜 너고, 이게 진짜 나.
I love that thing that Sugar does when he goes back and forth between going really hard and then giving us delivery like this, where it's a bit more relaxed delivery, but then. But his lyrics are obviously always so on point that it still hits you hard, because even while it's a relaxed delivery, there's super relevant lyrics. But then he dives back into that more aggressive delivery on the words, and I love that sort of like, it's like Sugar's lulling you to sleep and then comes back to punch you. You guys, I've heard a lot of songs, not a lot, but I've heard a few songs now where it's just these three. and every time they've hit hard. Pretty certain this is my favorite one. Just the three of them. Cause wow.
같은 곳을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막이 돼 영원을 말하던 우리였는데 가차없이 서로를 부수네 같은 꿈을 꿨다 생각했는데 그 꿈은 비로소 꿈이 되게 내 심장이 찢겨져 차라리 불태워줘 고통과 미련 그 무엇도 남지 않게끔 You're my tear You're my tear You're my tear You're my tear You're my fear You're my fear What more can I say You're my 어떤 말을 해야 할지 우리는 알고 있지
Is Fix the answer? I can already see how this is gonna flow into the third part of these albums here. It's saying right here at the end, we both know. What should I say? We both know that the answer is fixed. Like it's already. We both know what's gonna happen here.
네 입에서 말을 하는 순간 우리의 초점이 무규칙해지는 순간 모든 게 위험한 순간에 두 글자가 준 우리의 끝 아는 끝 한 찢을 끝 그런 말을 못한다고 앞으로
Stop, J.O. His delivery.
나의 만나고 나의 이별 전부여서 앞으로가 freer 반복될 거야 너로 인해 태어
And the breathing, the heavy breathing is the perfect way to end that song because that's what I feel like right now. Okay, I got some comments about this song, and I'm gonna dual set this because I have to. I'm gonna do it with you guys. Okay, dual set. The lyrics have both tear, as in crying, and tear, as in ripping apart. I'm so glad that I looked at this because this is everything that I've felt throughout this entire album, and especially on the outro song here. And it felt like they were playing both ends of that with the lyrics. They were directly talking about tear versus tear. RM more directly getting at the tear, and then J-Hope and Suga more directly going at tear. And God, J-Hope at the end tore me apart is what he did. To be rhymed with fear. Suga apparently said the lyrics for Tear were written for the members. When I was writing the melody at the time, we were deeply contemplating whether we should quit or not. When I played the song for the members, we all cried together. What? No, why? What? No, because that song is so... Contemplating quitting, and then imagine him playing that song for everyone, and then what that song... How passionate that song is, number one, but also what talking about feeling like there's this inevitability of things just not going well, and things being torn apart, and this inevitable tear. I have so many thoughts about this song and this whole album, and reading that is kind of got me a little messed up. I'm reading these lyrics now, even though I just heard the song. My heart stained with a belated self-hatred. Belated is something that's after the fact. It already happened, and it's after the fact. And that self-hatred is a stain that occurred after the fact, even though it was already there. It already occurred, which is why you say the particular word belated. Goodbye that ended up coming to me is what I deserve at the end of my play acting full of lies, which goes right back to earlier moments in the album referencing these constant lies. And if someone turned back time for me, could I maybe have been more honest? My bare face that only I know. That hits so hard because this whole album is about showing your bare face and being honest. That's what the whole thing's about, it feels like. And to get to the end here and feeling like everything got torn apart and you completely just shattered yourself because you're hiding behind this mask. You guys, this album is what I'm just, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to give you guys my favorite songs on this part of the album. And then the next video for the third part will be out soon. Probably the same amount of time it took between this one and the last one. No longer than that, though. And then I'll give you guys like my overall feeling on the whole 3-part trilogy at the end. Because... God damn it. And I also want, for some reason, I want to torture myself and listen to the beginning of this album again because it progressed so significantly. One exciting thing about editing this one is I'm going to get to listen to it again, even though it's painful. My favorites on this album, C. I know it wasn't on this album, but I cannot believe it wasn't on the streaming version because C is an incredible song, but I know it's not on this one. So aside from C, my favorites were Intro Singularity, Fake Love, The Truth Untold. The Truth Untold is probably my favorite BTS song I've heard so far. Love Maze and Man, such a cool song. So What and Tear. Those are my top 7 on this album. I really like Magic Shop a lot too. You guys just let me know what that Magic Shop thing means. And there's not one song on here I didn't like, I will say that, but that's just kind of like my top 7 if I had to do a tops. Alright guys, I will see you for the third one so soon. I cannot wait to read your comments on this album, and thank you for just being the best. Bye.